Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode along the North American van life industry tour. I'm building a van to be a podcasting and video production studio, as well as a home on wheels. So I'm going all around North America and visiting different companies that can help me to equip the van for the eventual journey around the world. So we've got Backwoods Adventure Mods in Arkansas. We got Wilson Amplifiers with the communication in Houston. We've got Lizard Skin on the interior with thermal and sound deadening barriers. And we have an air conditioning system from Phoenix, Arizona from a company called Cruise and Comfort. Today, we're headed to Agile Off Road. Agile specializes in all sorts of components to equip your van. In particular, I'm looking for a over-the-wheel well water tank, and they also do suspension systems. So we're gonna meet with a guy named Elikem, who I've been communicating with. We're gonna go in there and meet with him and see what he has to say.
Yeah, this is Agile HQ. That was a showroom in there. Yeah, so we've been in this location almost, I think, 3 years now. When we first started, Agile was just this half of the building, so we used to have to, these shelves were in here, we get 1, 2, 3 vehicles in there. Yep. Guys are working in the parking lots, kind of all over the place. 2 years ago, we took over that back half of the building back there, which we'll walk around, so we moved the shop into there.
Okay.
So now we can work on about 9, 10 vehicles in there at a time.
Cool.
Next coming months, we'll be doing a bunch of renovations, blow out some walls, expand, rebuild the showroom. Shipping's, got even more room now where we can handle manufacturing more, storing more, just getting more inventory in and out. Our bread and butter is definitely going to be our suspension products. That's what we started off on, working on the the Ford E350 vans back in the day. That's like spiraled into suspension on sprinters, transits. We also do wheels and tires, fuel tanks, pretty much all the exterior upgrades you can do on a van. We do all of those. Primarily Mercedes Sprinter. We still do quite a bit of transits in here, and then every now and then we'll get one old Ford van left.
What about ProMasters? Do you see any ProMasters?
We do wheels and tires. We have shocks available for ProMasters. Definitely something we're looking to expand into more. The Sprinter part of it has just kept us so busy.
Yeah. Or do you just deal with the suspension, or can you build somebody a van from scratch?
We don't do much interiors. We do flare, so we've done flare space in the past. Done those on quite a few vehicles, or just cut windows, whether it's in the rear doors or on the sides, things like that.
I'm interested in getting, obviously, the over-the-wheel well water tank, but we had also talked about the suspension.
Yes.
So
yeah, I'd love to take a look at your van and let's
go.
see what we're working with. Just in general, products that we're going to have for the transit. So Fox is who we use for pretty much all of our rear shocks, like 99.999%. We've been working with them for the last probably 10 years now. Okay. They build all of our shocks at their facility, which used to be up the street. Now it's in Georgia. They build them for us, and then they ship them out here, and then we're able to install them. Cool. Back in the day when we were much smaller, we used to actually buy the shocks, take them apart, revalve them ourselves, but now with the quantities that we're doing, it makes way more sense.
It works.
Yes. Typically what so the rib kits are started off in the old Fords, really adapted it to the Sprinter, where we add like a coil spring up front to give the vehicle, one, it gives it a little bit of lift, but more importantly, when you build out these vans real heavy, it compresses the suspension, doesn't have enough spring force to keep the suspension suspended. Yep. So like the Sprinter rib kit consists of the coil spring that we add up front. May or may not add a secondary shock, and then we do a custom leaf spring in the rear. And then in the back, we do a custom tuned Fox shock. So now adapting that to the Transit, we've got several lift kit options available that'll give you a 2-inch lift. In the front, that normally revolves adding a spacer to the front strut. Yep. We can upgrade that front strut to a Bilstein at the time, which is going to give you much better handling and damping. And then in the rear, we do our Fox 2.0 rear shock, custom tuned shock, and then depending on the weight of the build, if your van's heavy enough, we do have leaf springs just like we do for the Sprinter available for the Transit, which is good for the heavier built vans.
My van isn't built out quite yet, so that would be something that I could add on later on.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as I'd love to sell you a kit today and just say buy these now, it's not going to ride right. And that's at the end of the day, that's what the rib kit is the ride improvement package, and that's what we're all about. The lift is a nice off-road factor and kind of a cool thing, but ideally we want to improve the ride of it. So getting a properly spec'd leaf spring based on the weight of the van is what's going to give you the ideal handling, as well as a tuned shock to match that. If your rear axle weight's under, I'd say about 4,000 pounds, we like keeping the factory leaf spring and just going with the shocks. Yep. And then if you need to lift it, we can put a block under there. to get you the 2 inches of lift. Anything over that, these really heavy build outs, then yeah, we'll go ahead and replace that leaf spring with a better one.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to lift the van a couple of inches so I could get new tires and rims on it, and then upgrade the shocks if that's something that you think that we could do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Struts and
Yeah. So yeah, I would recommend. Yeah, like I said, the Bilstein front struts. And then, yeah, we'll do our Fox rear shocks there. That'll reduce the sway. That's actually what we call on the website the STS, Stop the Sway Kit. So, yeah, improved shocks, basically shock in the strut up front, shock in the rear. And that will get rid of all the sway, whether you're pulling out of a driveway like this, you're getting blown around by the wind or something like that. And then, yeah, as far as the lift, yeah, we can do a 2-inch lift in the front and the rear to give you some more ground clearance.
And that works along with the dually rear?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the rear...
Because that's a different thing, right? I mean, it does make some changes. Am I correct?
The biggest, restriction or difference with the dually is going to be just the wheel and tire package options. One, how wide of a tire we can fit so that they're not rubbing on each other, and two, there's just less tire options. But as far as the suspension goes, that's going to be identical.
Okay.
Same shock. Same leaf spring as well, or leaf spring lift block, I should say, as well. Yeah. And then in the front, it's the exact same suspension.
Yeah. And that's the one of the backwoods.
Yes, backwoods roof rack. Which is similar. Yeah. Okay, cool. And then like I said, I mean, different van, different platforms, but like I said, a lot of the upgrades, if they're not already available for the Transit, are definitely coming soon. So we'll have way more stuff coming soon. And then obviously different vehicle, but if you wanted an idea of what like the rib kit leaf spring looks like, let's say compared to your factory spring, you can take a look in there. So it's a progressive multi-leaf spring. So it starts off soft enough in the travel that when you hit small bumps, things like that, it's not harsh, it's very comfortable. But you hit a big bump, freeway expansion joint, something like that, and you blow through that suspension travel, it's got so much spring force and it ramps up linearly that you pretty much will never compensate. Yeah, you'll never bottom it out. To be honest, the factory Ford leaf spring compared to the Sprinter factory leaf spring, we found that this one's actually a little bit stronger and a little bit stiffer. So that's why it's like a lot more vans can use the rear leaf spring versus these. Unless you're super heavy, you're pretty good with the factory set. So yeah, we can go ahead and if we want, we can pop in there. Let me see what options we have available for lift kits, shocks and struts, and we can also get you your water tank.
How long you worked here?
I have been here officially almost 2 years now.
Okay.
Before that, Agile Off Road was actually one of my marketing clients. So I've been working with John and Jesus and Glenn, the owners, for about 4 years now. And then about 2 years ago, it was like, hey, we got to come in and make this thing full time, and it's been good ever since then.
Is John around?
Yes, he should be around. If he's not on lunch, I will grab him, and you can definitely have a conversation.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I bet you. I wonder if we can even look at like one of those takeoffs out of a Sprinter. The problem is it might end up sticking down.
Oh, well.
And you know, so what is that? Bone plus my finger.
Yeah.
Hey, Tor, where are the gray water tanks? Bell-shaped ones? It'll hang down a little bit. We can set up in there and you can see what it looks like.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
9 inches is pushing it, and this one's just slightly over 9. That might.
Well, if it fits, it fits. If not, this was something I was just kind of like thinking about. The over the wheel well one was the one that I was like,
water,
that's
though,
for my
right?
water.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I could shear off those bolts there. And then
is that what's holding it up?
Yeah,
right
that's
there?
what's holding it.
It's not terrible. We've seen a lot worse.
Would it be a problem with it being so close to the exhaust?
I don't know how hot these get. I don't know. I'd run it if you needed to. Put another piece of sheet metal on it.
Yep.
But this does have this, and just take it, maybe deflect it down.
Oh, hi, by the way, on the video. You're John, right?
John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The video.
So what made you start Agile?
A buddy of mine started as a hobby, I think in like 2015.
Yeah.
We were converting Ford vans into four-wheel drives. So we would take the E350s, E250s, and then we put in a Dana 50 twin traction beam. So it had independent suspension. It was pretty unique, and it worked really, really well. So they handled great, and they had a lot of wheel travel. They had, I think it was 14 inches in the front and like 12 in the rear.
Holy moly.
So they really worked good. And it was big tires. You could put big, 285s on them. And then we started doing Sprinters, because Sportsmobile ran out of Fords. So I think that happened in 2014. They stopped building them, and our customers, we had a lot of sportsmobile customers, and then it just evolved, and they started building. I think they were doing Ford Transits, and then the Ford Sprinter came out, the Mercedes Sprinter, and it was four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and everybody's like, yeah, that's cool. And we put big tires on them. They look bitchin', and you know, you gotta look good trying, right?
Right. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Cool. Now let's go see if it fits. I should have done a time lapse about me doing it. But okay, so the tank is inside, and we've got about 3 fingers, 3.5 fingers behind. It can't go much farther than that. But that's perfect. And then it'll be on this side. My air conditioning unit will be right behind it. And then it'll stretch right to about here underneath the kitchen cabinet. Perfect. Awesome. Very cool.
Right, we got a good fit.
Thank you. All right, one down.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Well, that is good. That's good. I'm glad everything fits.
Yeah. That was the primary purpose, was to get the water tank. You make the caliper and everything?
Yeah.
What's the length of the pad is a lot different, eh?
Yeah, but the 6 pistons.
Is this a new thing? Like the actual
We've had it
brake?
for about a year.
Okay.
Yeah, you get upgraded brake lines with them. 6 piston in the front, 4 in the rear, and a lot bigger rotor.
Yeah. That rotor's a beast. Where's the old one? Do you have the old rotor?
This guy actually worked for Mercedes for his whole life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Oh wow. That's considerable.
Yeah.
That is considerable.
Yeah, and then look at the thickness in it.
Oh man.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
What else are you doing on this guy?
He's got a big list of stuff. So he's getting the rip kit, brakes. He's getting a fuel system installed. Rear springs, of course, go with the rip kit. You can see them on the other side. You'll see it's got them in there. So we take out the blocks. So these, and the Ford Transits have this style spring too.
Yeah.
So we actually make a spring for the Transit, multi-leaf like this. So.
Yeah. We're not sure how heavy my load's going to be quite yet.
Yeah, wait till you weigh it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got the whole kit here. Lift kit,
Very cool.
rear shocks, front struts.
Awesome.
Yeah, all bagged up.
Very cool.
Cool.
Booyah.
So these are the front struts from Bilstein, B6s, which are going to be an upgraded, stiffer valve strut than the factory one. You also actually get about a 1/2 inch lift when you install these as well, too.
On top of the 2-inch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Now we've got our Fox custom tuned rear shocks as well here. So this is our V4 tune, which is for stock to medium weight builds. And then we've got the Foes lift kit, which is going to be the front strut spacer up front, the modified control arm to correct the camber, and then a lift block for the rear to get you 2 inches back there. With the shocks, you're going to really feel reduced sway. So pulling out of a driveway like this, where you've got an uneven driveway that you're pulling out, that pendulum effect that the vehicle has, this is going to eliminate that.
Okay.
So then, if you get, these are big sails, so you're driving, big open road, and it gets real windy, getting blown around. Yeah, this is going to help you stay a lot more planted. And then the lift kit, of course, is going to give you a nice 2 inches of ground clearance.
All right, guys, that's finished for now with Agile Off Road. We are going to come back here actually on the 4th and 5th, unless I can find somebody else to do the installation, to actually put the shocks and struts and lift kit on the van. I think it would be really, really nice to get it done here at Agile, but they're really, really busy. And so the only time they can work me in is after the New Year's, which pushes my schedule a little bit. I think it's actually a good thing to actually have it all finished here. And maybe in that time I can work on the rims and get tires and rims by the time they do the installation. And then I can kind of wrap the whole thing up. As a matter of fact, Method, which is a company that makes the rims for that van, is fairly local, like in Southern California. And BF Goodwrench is somebody I've been talking to. So if I could wrap all those things together, leave Southern California with my rims and my tires and my suspension and my lift kit, that would be pretty cool. Catch you in the next one. Like, subscribe, share. If you know anybody in van life, or you're in van life yourself, go ahead and share it on a forum if you can. That would be nice. I'd appreciate it, because I think this is an interesting and valuable series for somebody else that might be exploring van life or getting their stuff installed. Next episode that we are going to venture through, beyond the frilly stuff, because I do have some fun stuff visiting some friends and whatnot. But the next van life specific episode that we'll have along the North American van life industry tour is going to be windows. We're going to be going to Van Windows Direct, and we're going to get some windows. We're going to get a window here, and then we're going to get a window here, and then we're going to get a window here, 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 and here. No window here, no window there. So the windows are going to stop there. So I'm kind of excited about that. We're going to meet Van Windows Direct, and they supply all sorts of different windows. This is I think this is a Van Windows Direct or an AMA window that slides out. But there's also windows that tilt out. There's all sorts of different types of windows, and we're going to take a look at different sorts of windows and see what kind of windows work for me with regards to this van. I have some specific purposes in mind with it, and we'll talk about that when the episode comes. In the meantime, though, we will be talking with some of my old friends. We're going to go visit Sylvie Halpern, a friend of mine who does trike riding and whatnot, and so we'll get on the cycle in the next episode. That should be fun. After that, we'll be doing some spraying of the interior of the van, and then the holiday will commence. Then we'll install the struts, and then we'll go up north to Zamp and Victron and check out Sam at Just Roaming Design. So it should be fun. Take it easy.